The study of human biological diversity sometimes reveals anatomical variations of exceptional magnitude, often linked to rare pathologies or genetic mutations. This article analyzes 10 documented cases of extraordinary proportions, highlighting medical complexity and human resilience. This rigorous exploration sheds light on the contemporary ethical challenges encountered. Number 10. Evan Hill. The psychosociological impact of severe dental malocclusion. Evan Hill, a native of Christchurch, New Zealand, became an emblematic figure in the fight against school bullying related to physical malformations. Suffering from a dental deformity of rare intensity, characterized by disproportionately large upper incisors, he was physically unable to close his mouth or articulate speech correctly. This condition, diagnosed by an abnormal jaw angle and a massive interdental gap, went far beyond aesthetics to become a true functional and social handicap. Cruelly nicknamed by his peers, Evan experienced a childhood marked by isolation until his story, broadcast on television, sparked a wave of national generosity. Thanks to a community fund that exceeded his family's financial means, he was able to undergo extensive orthodontic and surgical treatment over several years. This case demonstrates not only the importance of reconstructive orthodontics, but also illustrates how social solidarity can radically transform an individual's destiny by restoring physical functionality and psychosocial integration, turning years of suffering into a message of hope and regained dignity. This spectacular physical transformation has left a lasting impression on the people of New Zealand. Number 9. Robert Pershing Wadlow, Pituitary Hypertrophy and the Limits of Gigantism. Robert Wadlow remains, in the archives of endocrine medicine, the most remarkable subject ever studied due to his exceptional height of 2.72 meters, 8 feet 11 inches. His rapid growth, which began in early childhood, he already stood 1.63 meters, 5 feet 4 inches at the age of 5, originated in a hypertrophy of the pituitary gland, causing an uncontrolled secretion of growth hormones. Nicknamed the Alton Giant, Wadlow had to navigate an architectural and material world totally unsuited to his stature, requiring custom-made clothing and size 37A shoes. Despite the colossal biomechanical challenges imposed on his skeleton and circulatory system, he was admired for his calm temperament and modesty. However, this extreme stature carried severe medical risks, notably a loss of sensation in his lower limbs. Paradoxically, it was a simple blister on his foot, caused by an ill-fitting brace and not felt by the patient, that led to a fatal septic infection at the age of 22. His scientific legacy continues to inform research on growth disorders, while his life remains a symbol of resilience in the face of a physiological condition that pushed the limits of human survival. The study of his skeleton remains a major reference in endocrinology. Number 8. Mark Davidson Shildo, Macrodactyly and Functional Reappropriation. Mark Davidson Shildo, residing in the Philippines, presents an extreme form of macrodactyly, a rare congenital pathology causing excessive growth of soft tissues and bone structures, primarily in the hands. His hands, reaching approximately 10 times the average size, made him a subject of curiosity and stigmatization from a very young age. Facing social whispers and prejudice, Mark developed exceptional mental strength, choosing to perceive his condition not as a limit, but as a characteristic to be integrated into his daily life. He achieved the technical feat of adapting his fine motor skills to accomplish complex tasks, proving that cerebral plasticity allows for the compensation of atypical anatomical structures. Today a married man, father, and digital content creator in Manila, he uses his visibility to raise public awareness about rare diseases and promote inclusion. His professional and personal trajectory emphasizes that an individual's true strength does not lie in conformity to morphological norms, but in the ability to transform a physical singularity into a lever for responsibility, independence, and social advocacy for human diversity. His daily courage inspires many people living with disabilities. Number 7. Katia Page. Advocacy against the stigmatization of lipedema and lymphedema. Katia Page has dedicated a large part of her life to educating the world about lipedema and lymphedema, two chronic and progressive medical conditions often wrongly confused with lifestyle-related obesity. Her condition manifested as a pathological and disproportionate accumulation of adipose tissue and fluids in her lower limbs, resulting in a massive hypertrophy of her legs that severely hindered her mobility. Contrary to popular belief, lipedema is resistant to diet and exercise, requiring specialized medical interventions that are often inaccessible. By presenting herself publicly as the Queen of Lipedema, Katia broke the silence and shame surrounding this disease, notably through the documentary My Legs Won't Stop Growing. She brought to light the daily physical pain, but also the emotional distress caused by medical misdiagnosis. Her legacy is that of a courageous activist who succeeded in shifting society's gaze from mere physical appearance toward a clinical and empathetic understanding of lymphatic system disorders, thereby helping thousands of women obtain legitimate medical recognition. She actively campaigns for better reimbursement for specific treatments. Number 6. Sridhar Chilal. The physiology of extreme commitment to records. The story of Sridhar Chilal is unique because it illustrates a voluntary anatomical alteration pushed to its extreme physiological limits. For over 66 years, this Indian man refused to cut the fingernails on his left hand, reaching a cumulative length of over 9 meters. This choice, born from a personal challenge during his youth, had major clinical consequences on his body. The considerable weight and structure of the nails caused irreversible nerve damage, muscle atrophy of the hand, and chronic, disabling pain that even altered his sleep cycles. This case is fascinating for medicine, as it demonstrates how psychological will can force the body to endure abnormal biomechanical stresses over several decades. In 2018, during the final cutting of his nails for preservation at the Ripley's Museum in New York, the transition marked the end of a record built on patience and endurance. Chilal's journey offers a reflection on the relationship between personal obsession and physical transformation, illustrating that even the most unusual records rest on discipline and resilience in the face of the body's functional degradation. This unusual performance will remain etched in the annals of records. Number 5. Beshine. Extreme body modification and contemporary aesthetic identity. Myra Hills, known by the pseudonym Beshine, represents a major case study in the field of extreme plastic surgery and voluntary body modification. By opting for breast augmentations of unprecedented proportions with a reported weight of over 9 kilograms per implant, she deliberately modified her anatomical structure to correspond to a personal and bold aesthetic vision. Beyond the visual aspect, this transformation imposes constant biomechanical challenges on the spinal column, posture, and the most basic daily activities such as walking or sleeping. For Hills, this approach is not a constraint, but an affirmation of her identity and self-confidence, using her presence on social media to promote total autonomy over her own body. Professionally, Her case questions the limits of aesthetic surgery and the management of long-term orthopedic consequences of such modifications. Her message, defining one's own beauty without regard for social norms, resonates as a form of permanent artistic performance, where the body becomes the support for a constructed and embraced identity. She fully assumes her choices, despite occasionally virulent criticism. Number 4. Sidney de Carvalho Mesquita. Physiological Mastery of Ocular Luxation. Sidney de Carvalho Mesquita, alias Tio Chico, has stunned the medical world and the public with his ability to protrude his eyeballs to a distance of 18.2 millimeters out of their orbits, an officially recognized world record. This talent, discovered during childhood, relies on an exceptional elasticity of the connective tissues and oculomotor muscles, allowing for controlled luxation without immediate pain, although accompanied by a temporary loss of vision and intense ocular dryness. From a clinical point of view, this ability is extremely rare and requires physiological recovery after each demonstration, including the use of lubricating drops. Sidney has successfully transformed this genetic particularity into an international performing career, managing his image with a professionalism that has propelled him to the rank of a legend of extraordinary human faculties. His case illustrates the spectacular variability of human motor and sensory capacities, while highlighting that anatomical traits perceived as strange can be mastered and valued through entertainment and scientific documentation, offering a unique perspective on ocular mechanics. His muscular mastery transcends the boundaries of ocular physiology. Number 3. Roberto Esquivel Cabrera. The clinical consequences of a record-breaking anatomical hypertrophy. Roberto Esquivel Cabrera became a subject of global debate due to an unprecedented male genital hypertrophy, claiming a measurement of 48 centimeters, which exceeds all recorded records. However, this distinction is not without serious consequences for his health and social integration. Clinically, this condition leads to severe mobility difficulties and chronic urological complications, forcing the individual to be officially recognized as disabled by Mexican authorities. Beyond the virality of his images, his story raises complex questions about the medical validation of bodily records and the line between personal pride and pathological burden. Unlike other record holders, Cabrera faces an inability to lead a normal professional or personal life, illustrating the high cost that extreme anatomical proportions can represent. His case remains one of the most controversial in modern medicine, reminding us that behind every size record often lie painful medical realities that require a sensitive approach and specialized clinical follow-up to preserve a minimum quality of life. His condition raises intense debates on the ethics of records. Number 2. Mahogany Jeter. Resilience and the redefinition of beauty through modeling. Mahogany Jeter, born with severe congenital lymphedema, transformed a disabling physical condition into a platform for global awareness. Her left leg, weighing approximately 45 kilograms due to an accumulation of lymphatic fluid, was the source of intense bullying and major logistical challenges during her youth in Tennessee. However, her meeting with the world of photography in 2017 marked a decisive turning point, allowing her to launch a career as a professional model where her difference is no longer hidden but celebrated. By using social media to document her daily life and photo sessions, Mahogany encourages self-acceptance and defies the restrictive beauty standards of the fashion industry. Her journey is a powerful testimony to how the perception of a disproportionate limb can evolve from a source of shame to a symbol of strength and body positivity. She demonstrates that true beauty lies in authenticity and the courage to expose one's vulnerability, thus inspiring millions of people around the world to embrace their own physical singularities with pride. Her growing influence fosters a more inclusive vision of fashion. Number 11. A moment of unforeseen cases. In remote territories, certain physical anomalies, such as marked macrocephaly, challenge both medicine and ethics. Images circulate that are difficult to authenticate, suggesting serious disorders such as hydrocephalus or rare genetic syndromes affecting skull development. Faced with these observations, research must proceed with caution to avoid any visual exploitation or hasty cultural interpretation. These situations serve as a reminder that extreme biological variations persist far from modern medical infrastructures. Their study should primarily serve to promote the understanding of human diversity and strengthen access to care, with absolute respect for the dignity of each person. Modern science must document these cases with great rigor. Understanding these exceptional human trajectories allows for a better apprehension of the complexity of medicine and psychology in the face of anatomical differences. By valuing these stories of resilience, we contribute to the building of a more empathetic society, where every bodily singularity is recognized with dignity and respect. Science and empathy unite to honor these extraordinary journeys.